He's in Korea when this happened. He is not in Afghanistan. He is not on a deployment, and he just got wasted and fell down. That's the IED.
Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy AT. We got another video today. This one is actually posted by Coach Greg, and he's talking about Malibu Max Fit, I think is his name. Sorry if I botched that. This one's going to be a crazy video. Just based off of everything that's gone down. I do want to start before we jump into this by giving a little bit of backstory. So Malibu Max Fit, just in my own personal experience, very recently came across my social media feed, probably within the last like 2-3 weeks. I had seen him pop up a few times, never really paid too much attention to it. But I was wondering why he kept showing up. So I, went ahead, did my due diligence, took a visit over to his page. And the first thing that I got from all of his videos was that he's an extremely positive person. Usually seems really joyful, and he has some decent advice to give. So I gave him a follow. I supported him and didn't really think too much of it. And then on my actual birthday, February 27th, is when he came out with his own announcement on his own public profile, talking about how he lied about taking an IED to the face. He did serve, it looks like for like 5 years, I think. He said from 2005 to 2010. So he did serve, but he was not an IED survivor. In my opinion, that's something extremely huge to lie about. But let's go ahead and just dive into the video. We'll get more into his reasoning, talk more about it, and we'll see what Coach Greg has to say.
Boy, Malibu. Now, this is one of the biggest risks that I've ever taken in my life.
The rise, very fast rise, and downfall, perhaps the fastest rise and fall in the history of the fitness industry. Why would you take I
mean, yeah, like I said, bro popped up real quick. I mean, I started seeing him everywhere, all over all of my social medias, Instagram, Facebook. It's really all I'm ever on. And just more and more and more every day. So I finally decided to check his page out.
IED survivor out of your profile.
He's in Korea when this happened. He is not in Afghanistan. He is not on a deployment, and he just got wasted and fell down. That's the IED.
Coach Greg, in today's video, the rise and fall of Malibu Fit. And so Lee Markham has amassed over 1.2 million followers on Instagram in about a month. The reason for his popularity is because many people loved his personality, his attitude, and when people started making fun of his appearance, all the people that loved him, that liked his videos.
Yeah, I mean, I can't lie. Like I said, I didn't know his story when I first saw him, and I just thought that he just had lip filler. And I mean, as a cosmetic thing, I thought it didn't necessarily look the greatest, but who am I to judge, And then when I visited his profile, I saw IED survivor, and that kind of told the story and what I thought, was truthful. But yeah, can't lie, man. I could see how he was getting some hate in the comments and all his stuff, and how it was probably distracting.
They fought back. Video after video after video, people coming to his defense saying, how dare we pick on a man like this, bully a man who essentially went to war and took a IUD in the face. How can we be so horrible?
Yeah, I was one of those people. I came to his defense in the comments of one of his videos, just because, again, it's like we're making fun of a veteran, but he must not have he must not have known that once you go popular and once you go public with everything online, there's going to be those people out here that really do want to drag you down. And then there's also going to be the people that want to hold you accountable. They're going to be people that are jealous. I mean, you came up 1.2 million followers in a month. That's insane. So you got to watch your back, man. You can't be lying about stupid stuff.
And so with that, and the fact that he continued to thrive, making videos, sharing to the world his positive attitude, basically his positive vibes, his popularity, it went through the roof. This all led to his partnership, likely a lucrative one, with Pro Sups.
I officially signed with Pro Sups. I'm part of the family. You guys are part of the journey.
So I think a part of why he felt the need to end up coming out was, one, a ton of pressure from people saying, hey, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Where's the proof? And two, now he's going big time, and now he's intertwining his popularity with other large companies' businesses, their images as well. So, you know, if he would have let it keep going longer, it could have been a bigger deal and impacted the people that he chose to partner with and the people that gave him an opportunity. So I think the timing of it was maybe smart, even though I don't think he did it genuinely because he wanted to. He just realized, hey, man, the longer I keep going on with this, the worse it's going to get for me. So, and possibly my partners now.
They can't wait for the future, what it has for all of us.
And so many people looked into this behind the scenes saying, how is it possible that this IUD would have exploded and that it wouldn't have really had that much damage? The plastic surgery, it didn't max out. Where are the scars? Why exactly does he look like this?
This is his DD-214. It shows that he was deployed to Afghanistan 2009, July 31st to 2010, July.
Shame on anyone who might have thought maybe this is just lip filler, that it's Botox or implants of some sort. Why would he do that? If it was a woman, many people would have said, oh, that's probably what he did. But perhaps because he's a man, people didn't want to believe that it could have been plastic surgery. And not to heal the wounds, the scars from this explosive device, but simply because that is what he wanted to do.
Guys, this is a very serious video with questions that I have for this guy, Malibu Fit Max. If you don't know who Malibu Fit Max is, he's very recent.
Yeah, I can't even remember this dude's name right here that they're showing, that Greg is showing, but this guy is the most relentless online investigator that I've ever seen. He makes other people's business his business just to get down to the bottom of it and just to expose you. So this dude right here, if you ever see yourself in one of his videos, it's a very bad day.
Like in the last month, just popped into the fitness stratosphere, millions of followers, millions of views on all his videos. And a question was posed to me about 2 weeks ago where they sent me his profile and they said, hey, this guy, Malibu Fit Max, used to have IED survivor in his bio. He very recently removed it. Do you know why, John?
Why would you take IUD survivor out of your profile? It was once in his profile and now it's...
Man, Greg just said IUD? IUD survivor? I'm dead.
Not. Why wouldn't you want to keep that? Imagine this analogy. It would say lifetime natural, and suddenly that would be deleted. What do you think might have happened? Do you think perhaps they started taking performance-enhancing drugs? As soon as many people had noticed this, they immediately thought, I bet it's all a lie. It's based on a lie. And so you sit back and you wait to see everything unfold.
In October of 2010, here's him at a speaking engagement that his father posted on his father's YouTube channel.
In case you were curious, what did bro look like back before this accident? Did he look any different? And so he's literally at a speaking engagement where he's doing a speech, he's talking about himself, he's talking about other things. And you can see he's got shorter hair, but he does look pretty much like himself, perhaps just a few surgeries.
See, that was the other thing that I was kind of thrown off a little bit about at first with the appearance was the combination between the hair and the what looked like to be plastic surgery, cosmetic plastic surgery. But we're not here to roast nobody. I'm just being honest.
Less, perhaps some less Botox, the fillers, and so on.
We know this is him because one, well, it looks just like him, and two, he commented 15 years ago, first, from the username Malibu Markham. Lee Markham is his real name. I want you to listen to some of the content that he said during this lecture.
30's not that old. I'm still a student. I actually graduated this semester from University of Maryland.
This is, in fact, him. The same year that he would have survived that IUD in the face.
In his decorations, medals, and badges, right up here, it does not mention a Purple Heart. He has a lot of general awards and medals here, but he does not have a Purple Heart, which is something that you would expect to see there if he were wounded in combat and took an IED to the face.
How do you survive an explosion and look this good in the same year?
So in 2010, he competed in bodybuilding.
Yeah, guys, if you're trying to blow up online, if you are online and you already done blown up, or if you're still working, you cannot lie about anything. Because like I said, there are people out there that are just waiting for you to mess up, just waiting for something to seem a little off and fishy so that they can make your business their business and make it everybody else's business around the world as well.
In July, did a speaking arrangement in October, graduated from the University of Maryland, and at some other point in 2010 survived an IED to the face. Wow, in Afghanistan.
And last I checked, and seeing as I am in fact a bodybuilder, a professional one at that, it's hard to diet down for a show when you're in pain and your face is like undergoing surgeries of which you cannot even work out. And so how could he have gotten shredded, competed, placed third without training? Why would you enter a competition after getting home from fighting wars and so on when you're injured? Seriously. Remember, this is a serious accident, an explosion to the face.
Now, he does mention his service during this clip. Let me show you.
After my 5-year obligation in the U.S. Army, in Afghanistan, it was quite literal. I was surrounded by evil. There's death, rape, famine, murder, just destruction everywhere. And I thought, I need to get out of this. I could die right here. And when I
Now, in this 15-minute lecture, he does mention his service. He does not mention an IED or anything to that effect.
And so if you were a survivor of something this severe, would you not have brought that up in your speech? I mean, think of it. You've just had surgery. You just survived the devastation, the horrific accidents, all the things he said that are bad at wars and so on. How could you not speak to that? Like, hey, guys, I survived this. I was so scared. I don't want anyone else to have to go through I went. And so I had to get out of this situation.
I mean, the service part, true, I understand that. But some people, do like to be humble about what they've gone through, especially people who have been through some of the hardest things, like anybody with a Purple Heart that's been wounded in combat and is still living a life after that. So maybe he didn't want to talk about it. So
he could have said anything, but to just not even talk about it, how is that even possible?
This is filmed in 2010 October, which should be the year that he has said himself that he took an IED to the face on his deployment. Now, I'm just presenting facts, guys. Another fact that we talked about in the beginning of this video. He said he's from the 293rd MPCO. If you Google any of these, I can Google the 293rd MPCO, you will see a registry of any injuries that happened.
All the injuries that happened in his platoon, fleet, I don't know the names of these things, all of them are listed. The 4 main accidents, injuries, 1 even is no longer with us, and so it's all listed. And so if you had received this explosion, how would you have covered it up?
He was overseas, but it doesn't mention an injury. It doesn't mention an IED.
The IUD, it goes off and you suffer injuries. And how do you get back home with
Greg, it's IED, ED, not UD, ED. Does Greg have daughters? Like, why is he talking about IUDs, bro?
anyone reporting this serious accident?
Now, this document was sent to me showing Lee Markham, same birthday, with active duty start and end date September 2005 to September 2010. So I think this document can go as far to say that he was in the service from those 5 years, and when he was on stage back during that 2010 October interview or speech or whatever he was doing, what he was saying was true. He had just returned back from a 5-year, or he had just finished a 5-year career in the military.
What we do know that's been substantiated with evidence is that he actually did do the 5-year stint. So he did, in fact, go to war in Afghanistan. However, he didn't receive an IUD in the face.
Now, I have Lee's number, and I had recently spoken to him and helped him with the situation he was having with his photographer. So I decided I would just text him, because if I were him, and I've noticed a lot of accounts are starting to post about him and question whether or not what he said was true.
And so picture this. Goop, who's helped Lee Markham, helped him with his photographer issues, problems, and so on. And so they're on good terms. They're on friendly terms. He asked him some questions.
And I texted, and if I had the truth, I would be happy to speak to me and say, hey, John, here's all the info.
I guess I'm just confused about, like, the hair again, because bro must have came back from Afghanistan and just went crazy with the hair. Like, just started growing it out, blowing it out, dyed it, fried it, laid it to the side. He did everything, apparently. But again, we're not here to roast nobody. I'm just calling it like I see it.
Information, and I would scream it from the top of my lungs. I'm going to show you the text messages between me and Lee that occurred earlier today. I had tried calling him. He said, "Still eating? What's up?" I said, "Hey, I had someone send me a question about your service. Told them I asked you directly, what's the story on that? When exactly were you wounded and on what deployment?" I told them I'd get answers and send it back. I wasn't aware that was something that you went through, but they said that it used to be in your bio. He replied, "We are filming a documentary to be released next month. All this stress from stuff is making it worse now. Back on the meds just to sleep."
Do you get a sense of trying to hide something? He asks him a direct question and he avoids answering. Essentially, he says, "I have a Netflix documentary coming out, whatever," and everything will be told at that point.
What?
So with having a Netflix documentary come out, you don't think that they wanted to highlight and touch on the fact that you're an IED survivor? Where did you think that lie was going to take you? You thought nobody was going to look into it? I'm again confused.
Like, you could explain it in a text message, and I gave you that opportunity to, so like I have to address you here. I would have rather you just texted me, but here we are. So what is the truth? Hopefully we're wrong.
And so if any of this actually were true, if he had actually had that IUD go off in his face, he would have just said, "Yep, it happened." He didn't have to go in every single detail. Perhaps there's this documentary of sorts. He doesn't want to go through every single event, but somebody's asking you, somebody who's helped you, and so you simply want to know the truth. But as you can see, he's avoiding answering the question.
Here's the medical record from the incident that Lee Markham is characterized as an IED to the face. A friend reports that patient was drinking and fell near Camp Cournier, his barracks. He did lose consciousness after falling. Name at the bottom, Lee Peter Markham.
The reason he's popular is because he lied. If he had not had ex-survivor of IUD to the face, do you really think so many people would have made viral videos saying we need to stop making fun of his appearance?
That is true, but I mean, he was already kind of getting it popping before. I don't know when he put that in his bio and his timeline of when he got popular. Again, I was late to the party. But he apparently was getting it popping because he was already getting a lot of traction. It could have just been people hating, on his appearance, but he was getting it popping regardless.
Bro went to war, and so that is why people are so mad.
When Malibu Fit Max says that he sustained an IED blast to the face, what he meant to say was he got really drunk while stationed in Korea in 2006 and fell down before his deployment ever happened and f***ed his face up.
You can't identify as having...
Hey, that's definitely, I can see why you're lying. That's a crazy story. I was wondering with the title of Greg's video why he put Malibu was drunken, whatever in there, but now it all makes sense. And I mean, again, it's not worth lying about taking an IED to the face, but what a terrible way to blow your lip out.
Survived something to the face. You can't just say, "I survived this." You don't just get to identify as being disfigured from an explosion if it didn't happen. If you say it did, you lied. My bet is he kept getting made fun of, so he made up a story, and now that he's blowing up, pun intended, he removed it from his bio to evade controversy. And so let's see a different perspective here, and then we'll just see what kind of person are you. The type of person who cares about the truth, or are you a pussy? Dude is wrong if he lied, but I think going this far to investigate something that's not on his bio anymore qualifies as hating to some degree. Maybe not certified.
Maybe not certified hating, but still, I mean, I wouldn't say it's hating because he put it out there. Once you put it out there in front of the world, you made it public. And if people want to look deeper into it, that's not hating at all. So, man, I got to kind of say you did it to yourself.
Hating, but still, when you have a channel and that is what the channel is supposed to do, that's what you do. You uncover truths, lies, and so on. How is it somehow bad to investigate? Somehow that makes you a bad person. How do you think you get most stories on the news reports? You see breaking stories. You think it just falls into their lap? You investigate. Without the investigation, you would just have people saying, "Yeah, I think, maybe, I don't know, bullshit." Do you not prefer that he actually investigates?
He's in Korea when this happened. He is not in Afghanistan. He is not on a deployment, and he just got wasted and fell down. That's the IED.
Here's another, and this kind of summarizes what happens in the real world. Nobody gives a shit if you made it. Once you're on top, no one cares how you got there. Now, on the way up, they'll say, oh, you have to have integrity, you should be honest. But if you make it to the top through lying, sneaking your way, doing anything, people don't care. Of course, we finally have one positive dude in the fitness.
I mean, I'm not at the top, but I will say it does seem that we have a lot of people at the top and a lot of idolized figures in American culture that are some of the worst people that we could have put up on that pedestal.
Industry, and you won't leave the guy alone, and now he'll probably get even more hate on his page. Goop's response? Yes, I call out frauds. How do you guys not understand this? I just don't. Yes, I do. Because there's a lot of people that's average is 79. I keep forgetting that not the average person is moderately intelligent. Like, why do I think that people are not stupid? Of course they are. Stolen valor. Oof. Always wondered how his face looked as it did. I've never seen anyone who took a big B to the face have zero scars, stitch marks, or anything bad at all. Just looks like Botox, and now this kind of confirms it. Damn.
I mean, again, as someone who's just a regular civilian citizen, I have no idea when it comes to anything related to the Army, military, armed forces, and services at all. I have no idea what a bomb survivor looks like, what anybody that's going to survive any kind of trauma that's been inflicted by their service in the armed forces. I have no idea what that would look like. So I guess that probably should have rung some alarm bells. Like, yeah, how did this dude take a bomb to the face? And, there's no scars, no stitches. There's just, a pretty, if it was a bomb to the face, pretty well done, Botox or plastic surgery on the upper lip. So, but again, like I said, this was a guy who just was all over my feed. I took a look at his page. It seemed positive. Boom, tapped in. So I just didn't care enough to really even put two and two together. Once I saw IED in his bio, that answered a lot of questions that I had on why is this guy so popular. But again, still not enough to care, really.
That's sad. There you have it. The rise, very fast rise, and downfall, perhaps the fastest rise and fall in the history of the fitness industry. In fact, not probably, absolutely unequivocally. And so this is what I'm going to predict. People aren't going to care. Because once you're famous, once you've made it, what you did to get there, people aren't going to care.
No, I agree. That's true. And I've already seen a lot of his comments. I remember because he put this out on my birthday. It just came across my feed. So I tapped into it, watched the announcement, and I was honestly taken back. But then I went to the comments because that's what we all do, right? Wanted to see what people's feedback was for it. And it seemed to be mainly positive. Hey, bro came out and told the truth. Hey, he still served. Yes, he lied. That was wrong, but there's a lot of accountability. Hey, this looked like a very sincere, real apology. Bro, did what he was supposed to do and came out, blah, blah, blah. My thoughts on that are, yeah, he did come out, he did say something, but not until people started digging. And he went out of his way to, after putting it there and making it so obvious, try to remove it before too much heat came. So, again, real slimy, real sly. I'm not saying he's a bad person overall. I understand having something tragic happen to, your appearance, and then having to get surgery and having the only remedy be something that isn't necessarily the most appealing and something that could bring hate. And it even looks like something cosmetic and not something that would have been to heal an injury. But man, I just feel like Greg is right. It's going to come to a point where he's already made it. He's already blown up. He's already partnered with different companies. I mean, now he's got these companies and agencies backing him, and they got PR teams. They got money for PR teams and lawyers and fixers and all that stuff. So he's definitely going to probably really quickly bounce back, get his image back. Like, this is all going to blow over, I would say, no more than 2-3 months. and he's going to be right back on top. But we'll see, I guess.
Once you've made it, people don't care. And so regardless of what happens to all of this, I believe he simply won't address it. He won't talk about it. He'll go about his day. He'll continue to explode. I'll predict he has 3 million followers by next year. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of these two bloops. Just eating one of my Kaiko bars here for breakfast. And if you want to go to Algorex, you can click the link. You can get testosterone and clomiphene, Viagra. The list goes on. Peptides, things like that as well. Also, of course, the cookbook, HLT supplements, the Turk, all of it. Code Greg for discount. And if you are in fact unemployed, use code UNEMPLOYED for 20% off. And until next time, I am out.
All right, guys. Well, that was another one here by Coach Greg. Thought it was a great video. I had no idea any of this was even going on. Like I said, the only thing that I saw was the post on the 27th, him coming out with the confession. So kudos to everybody who did the digging and the investigating and, saw that 2 and 2 just really weren't adding up to 4 and called this guy out. And so, again, I'm not a Malibu Max Fit hater. I still do think that his content is very positive, and I think that it's a lot of what the fitness industry needs. And how the fitness industry is going to grow, how we're going to get more people taking their own health, their own, life and getting into the gym and actually lifting, taking that seriously. So kind of a double-edged sword again. We'll see how he bounces back. We'll see if he hits 3 million. I don't think he's going to have a problem getting to 5 and 10. So until then, see you guys on the next one.